So it looks like we're working with another hyperbola. We're going to ultimately graph it. We're going to find the orientation of its transverse axis. We're going to find its center. We're going to find its vertices, its foci, and its asymptotes. So we want to write this in a standard form. We're going to have what? X minus something squared over something squared minus y minus something squared over something squared equals 1. So I'm going to put, let's see, 1 after the x minus and negative 2 after the y minus. So here my h is going to be 1 and my k is going to be minus 2. Now underneath the x minus 1 squared, I got to think about what squared gives me 16 here. Well, definitely that's going to be 4, right? Here my a is 4. And underneath the y minus negative 2 squared, I got to think, okay, what squared gives me 25? Well, that's going to be definitely 5, right? So b is 5. So, since the x part is positive for a transverse axis, we're going to have a horizontal transverse axis. I'm going to have a horizontal transverse axis. Again, that's because here the x part is positive, right? X is positive, y part is negative. So we have a horizontal transverse axis. All right, part B is our center, HK. HK is 1, negative 2. 1, negative 2. So I'm going to get graphing this. So I'm going to find the center at 1, negative 2, right here. Now here's my horizontal transverse axis. I'm going to have a vertical axis as well, but it's not going to be a transverse axis. Okay. Now I am going to locate next my vertices. So since we're horizontally on the transverse axis, I'm going to use my A, which is associated with my x values, to find my vertices. So I go to the center and I go, so where is the center? Right here. It's 1, negative 2. So I'm going to move right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So I'm going to be going kind of back like that. Kind of like back that way to the right. I'll do it very lightly, the dashed line. So I have a vertex here at, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 2. Now I go back to the center and I'm going to go left 4 using my A. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be at negative 3, negative 2. So my hyperbola is going to go back to the left. Very rough sketch right now. Okay, foci. To find foci, you got to find the c. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So here a squared is 16 and b squared is 25. So I'm going to add 16 and 25. 16 plus 25. C squared is 41. So c is the square root of 41, which is about 6.4. So going back to the center and go in 6.4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.4. So somewhere like here. Call it F1. So F1 is going to be about 7.41. comma negative 2. And I go back to the center, and then I go left 6.4. Okay, that's 7.40, I'm sorry. 7.40, comma negative 2. Then I'm going to go back to the center, and then left 6.4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.4. There's my F2 right there. So F2 is about negative 5.40, comma negative 2. Okay. Now, I gotta find my asymptotes. Okay, maybe I change my color here. Let's do it orange. So I have y equals b over a, x minus h plus k, and y equals minus b over a, x minus h plus k. So y equals, what was b? B was 5, a was 4. So I got 5 fourths, x minus h was 1, plus k. K was minus 2. So I got y equals 5 fourths, x minus 5 fourths, minus 2. So y equals 5 fourths, x. So minus 5 fourths, that's minus 1.25 minus 2. That's 5 fourths, x minus 3.25. Now for the other asymptote, we got y equals minus 5 over 4, x minus 1, plus negative 2. Which is y equals minus 5 fourths, x plus 5 fourths, minus 2, y equals minus 5 fourths, x. So 5 fourths, that's 1.25 minus 2. So we're going to have minus 5 fourths, x, minus 0.75. So graphing the first one, I'm going to start off with the y-intercept here. B value of negative 3.25, and I'll use a slope here, an m of 5 fourths. So negative 3.25. Where is that on the y-axis? 1, 2, 3, 3.25. And we're going to go up 5 over 4, right? So start off with the y-intercept, negative 3.25. Then we're going to go up 5 over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 4. And I'm going to connect these points. Okay, let's graph our other line. Here we have a y-intercept. B is negative 0.75, and our slope is negative 5 fourths. I'm going to start at negative 0.75. Negative 0.75 on the y-axis, about here, and we're going to go, let's say, down 5 and right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to connect these points. So those are our asymptotes. And our green curve has to get close to those. Okay. For our green curve, that's where our hyperbola has to bow out really wide and get close to these asymptotes. I've done the one on the right, now I have to do the one on the left. I have to bow out really wide to get close to my asymptotes. I have to bow out really wide here. Oh, let me try that again. Let me try that again. There we go. Really wide to get close to those. So there we are. We have our two hyperbola pieces in green. So hyperbola has two pieces, a left piece and a right piece. We have our foci in red. We have our asymptotes in this kind of orange-yellow color. And we have our center. We have our center, 1, negative. All right. Let's go on. Number 4. Here we have y plus 3 squared over 36 minus x minus 2 squared over 16 equals 1. So first, we're going to write this in kind of a standard form. Y minus blank squared over blank squared minus x minus blank squared over blank squared equals 1. So after the y minus, I'm going to put a negative 3 here. And after the x minus, I'm going to put a 2. So my k is actually negative 3, and my h, remember, k comes after the y minus, h comes after the x minus, h is 2. And underneath the y minus negative 3 squared, I'm going to put a, well, what square gives you 36? 6, right? So I'm going to put 6. That's going to be my b. Remember, b, which is 6 here, is associated with the y. Now to find my a, I got to figure out, okay, what squared gives me 16? Well, 4, right? So 4 squared gives me 16. So my a, which is associated with the x, is going to be 4. All right, so what's the orientation on this as far as the transverse axis? It's going to be vertical. Why is it vertical? Well, because the y is the positive part. Think about that for a second. Right, when I look at this, the y is positive, the x is negative. Since y has the positive part here, we're going to have a vertical orientation on our transverse axis. Okay, part B is the center, which the center is h comma k. B2 comma negative 3. Ah, 2 comma negative 3. So let's start graphing. Where will I graph it? And the center is 2, negative 3. We have a vertical transverse axis. We have a horizontal axis, but that's not the transverse axis. Our vertices are going to be on the vertical axis. Okay, vertices. So here, since we have a vertical transverse axis, we're going to use the b value, which is 6, to find those vertices. I'm going to my center, I'm going up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That point right there is 2 comma 3. So we're going to have something going up like that. Hyperbola piece going up. Then I go back to the center, 2, negative 3, and I go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So I'm going down. What point is that? That's going to be 2. I got the wrong color, don't I? Let's make it green. 2, negative 9. That point right there. So, vertices, as said, are 2 and 3, 2 comma 3, and 2 comma negative 9. Foci, we're going to use, we're going to find a c value first. C squared equals a squared plus b squared here for hyperbolas. C squared is, what is a squared? A squared is 16, b squared is 36. A squared is 16, b squared is 36. So I got 16 plus 36. C squared is 52, so c is the square root of 52. Square root of 52, somewhere around 7.21. find an F1. Okay, let's find it. Okay, let's actually write it in the graph. And starting at my center, I'm going to go up 7.21. 7.21. So that's going to be F1 about 2, comma, think about that a second, 4.21. Now I go back to the center and I go down 7.21. See if I can count that. Center and down 4.21. 7.21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.21. There's F2. It's about 2, comma. So that's going to be, let's see, negative 10.21. Okay. So what were they? F1 was 2, comma, 4.21 about. I lost my marker. Where is it? There it is. F1 was 2, comma, 4.21. F2 was about 2, comma, negative 10.21. They're my foci. Now I got to do the asymptotes. Asymptotes. Y equals b over a, x minus h plus k. Y equals minus b over a, x minus h plus k. Y equals b was 6, a is 4, x minus h was 2, k is minus 3. So y equals 3 halves. Right, 6/4 is the same thing as 3 halves. X minus 2 minus 3. Distributing, I got y equals 3 halves x minus 3 minus 3. In other words, y equals 3 halves x minus 6. The other asymptote, y equals negative 6 over 4, x minus 2 plus k was negative 3. So y equals minus 3 halves, x minus 2 minus 3. So when I distribute negative 3 halves here, I get negative 3 halves, x plus 3 minus 3, y equals negative 3 halves, x plus 0. All right. Okay, let's graph the first one. The first one, asymptote, has a y-intercept, or we call that b of negative 6, and a slope of 3 halves. M is 3 halves. The y-intercept is negative 6. Let's find that. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And has a slope of up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. So we're connecting those. So up 1, 2, 3 over 2. That's an asymptote right there. All right, the other one has a y-intercept of 0 right here, and it has a slope of negative 3 halves. So I'll go down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. So there is my asymptote. Those are my asymptotes. Now I got to really clean up my green dude, right? My green dude is my hyperbola curve. I got one going down. I got one going up, excuse me. So I got to make my green hyperbola curve bow out and get close to the asymptotes. Excuse me. So I got one that's going to bow out here and get towards the asymptote. I'm going to have one that's going to bow out here and get close to the asymptote. Then up top here, we've got to clean that one up. I'm going to start here in my vertex. I'm going to bow out towards the asymptote. And